Good morning and welcome back to another episode of MATC Now, coming to you live from the downtown campus in the Milwaukee PBS studios. As always, I'm your host, Luis De Leon. On today's show, we visit some alumni, take a few trips with our arboriculture and sustainability programs, and we'll learn about the upcoming great TV auction that'll be aired right here on Milwaukee PBS. Stay tuned for that and more on MATC Now. Everyone, it is our first April show, and if you haven't looked outside yet, you'll be surprised if you do, as some spots around the state of Wisconsin right now are seeing above a foot of snow. Nevertheless, the show goes on. We have a great show for you today. We start with MATC Now's Jennifer Monk, who went to check out Barber Zoe, an alumni from MATC's very own cosmology program. Let's take a look.
Barber is not only a job. It's a lifestyle for some people like Barber Zoe, who happens to be an MATC alumni from the cosmetology program. A barber is cool, and you can do a lot in this program. Many have successfully made a career for themselves, and Barber Zoe is one of those many.
It taught me more than just being a barber. It taught me more of a business side aspect of it. It taught me how to be a leadership role after going back and finishing up, taking my manager's program, and learning how to be more of a leader than just a barber. So it taught me a lot, especially further with what I'm going in my field right now. Graduating May 21st, 2014, May 22nd, I opened up my own barbershop, Zoe's Barber Elite and Beauty Salon. And I've been open for 4 years now. I'm now currently in a new location, and it's been great. The enjoyment I get out of being a barber is to see people come in. Sometimes they come in with not so much of a good mood. Some people come in depressed. Some people come in with all type of moods. But when to see the satisfaction of seeing them walk out that door with a smile on their face, they feeling confident about themselves. And I just made somebody have a better day for themselves. MATC inspired me because when I was in my last semester in the program, I remember they redid their whole barber lab. And when they redid the barber lab, I was so amazed by these red chairs, tool sheds, the colors. It just did me an amazing. And at the time being, in 2014, I didn't have the resources and the funds to have the shop, but this has been a dream of mine to have a shop to duplicate something that MATC had at the same time, to see that I done something that MATC done. To all the fellow MATC barber and cosmetology students that's going to enroll and that's going to be in the program, to just follow your dream, have an open mind, be focused. This is your dream, this is your passion, take it serious, work with the great instructors that they're going to give you, and have fun at the same time.
An inspiring story from Barber Zoe. It's great seeing our alumni thrive and succeed after they leave our programs. Up now, sustainable energy is on the rise for Wisconsin. And up next, Sean Stembridge and Yvonne High cover the importance of ensuring quality and energy for a better tomorrow. Let's take a look.
In our ECAM program, our Energy Conservation and Advanced Manufacturing program, who has a class on commissioning. And because we had a commissioning project, we asked him to bring a team of students in and actually commission one of our largest air handling units.
The way solar works in a lot of projects is it doesn't necessarily go directly into the facility where the solar is. It actually goes onto the utility grid, and it just zeroes out a meter so that over time you end up having to pay for less energy from the utility.
Everybody pays an energy bill at their home level. So when students are gaining the knowledge about energy efficiency and seeing the impact for MATC's operational savings, they can take many of those measures and apply them in their homes too. So something like the big LED project we've had here at MATC, on a residential scale, they can do the same thing in replacing the light bulbs in their house and seeing the same % reductions on a smaller scale, but that impact their pocketbook every day.
So one of the benefits for MATC staff and students is that it helps to reduce the cost for MATC to continue to provide education.
Our reduction goal is 50% reduction in energy use by 2030, and all of our emissions 100% reduced by 2030.
We're going to transition away from fossil fuels to renewable resources. And for MATC and its staff and students, it means that we're looking for ways, and we're providing education to the students in ways that they can go into the field and help us accomplish that.
We've done a number of lighting initiatives district-wide. We've done LED replacements in our downtown campus in the hallways and the stairwells, where if you walk through, you can see the lights flicker off when you're coming into a space because they were off. No one was walking through the space, so there's occupancy sensors. We've done lighting LED replacements in our high bay and low bay areas, which are ceilings that are 12 feet or higher, because the wattage of a single light in those areas is typically 400 watts, and we've been able to shave about 60% savings out of those replacements to LED.
They get the opportunity to see it working. They can see back in the building where the electric comes in that's being generated. They can see it being changed from one form of electricity to another form, so that we can actually put it into the building and use it right there inside the building.
Milwaukee PBS has a transmission station that we call the Blue Hole that's right along the Milwaukee River. It's an old closed landfill site across from Estabrook Park. If you've been to that park, you can look across the river and you might see the big solar field there. That is MATC's.
We have to look for ways and think about our impact every time we turn on a light switch, every time we hop into the car. What's that doing? Do we really need to do that? We're creatures of habit. We do a lot of things just automatically.
Welcome back to the studio. We are now joined by
MATC students to learn how to make a difference in the world.
He is also director of WMAP's Profitable Sustainability Initiative team. Randy.
The event will feature multiple speakers talking about different issues that are harming the world today and some of the different ways that we can prevent these issues and fix them. The speakers will be showing many different examples on how the world is being affected today, either with a paper example or some type of chart. Also, for any students who might think there might be a bit too much to remember, don't worry. You're allowed to bring notebooks into the summit, and you can choose to either take down as many major points as you can or wait until you hear something that catches your interest.
Without MATC, I don't know that this would be here. So if we could, I'd like to give a nice round of applause to those people who helped to organize this summit, and especially those who are here at MATC.
But the speakers aren't the only ones who come to the summit. There are also multiple exhibits set up to show and encourage different types of aid in the world, such as decreasing pollution. And these people at the stands will be more than happy to assist you in any ways that they can. Lastly, if you'll go to our website at www.matc.edu, you can choose an option called Community Connection, which gives you the option to volunteer and assist organizations just like the ones seen at the annual summit. Make a difference in the world today.
Just to switch gears a bit now, we have a very special guest on the show today. In the studio, Amy Lange-Burns, Assistant Director of the Greater TV Auction. Thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you, Luis.
Absolutely. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the TV auction first? What is it and where do the proceeds go?
Well, the Great TV Auction, this is our 50th year, and it's a fundraiser for Milwaukee PBS, formerly MPTV, and we are raising money to support the programs that we have, programs that we have to purchase, as well as the programs that we produce here. So this is a great opportunity for us also to share those proceeds with the students and support them in what they're doing.
Excellent. And so I see you brought some merchandise today.
I did.
What do we have here on the table?
I did. So one of my favorite parts about the auction is working with featured artists. And this year we have 3 featured artists that do print work and one that does encaustics, so she does like, they're sort of like little sculptures. But this artwork that we have here on my shirt, on the bags, on the wine, and on the mugs is from Susan Tolanen, and she did our golden anniversary auction artwork because this is our 50th year being in production. And Susan's given us this beautiful artwork that celebrates the city and our place in it, and the fact that we're coming back downtown from being in Brookfield for a good chunk of time. So anyway, so we've got these items. These bags here will be filled with items from our Milwaukee PBS Eats program, which we collect donations, and then so that we'll have like sausages and cheese and dog treats and all that kind of stuff, and we'll put those in those bags. Then we have the wine that'll be up for bid, and then mugs and T-shirts, and we have different tote bags, and Susan's artwork's going to be everywhere.
Absolutely. Now take us through the importance of this auction and what your favorite part about it is. Well,
my favorite part is the featured artists, and as well as Susan, I'm getting to work with James Meyer, who is doing a photography piece for us, Chuck Weber, who did an oil paint for us, and Terry Lockwood, who is an encaustic artist, which is an ancient art. You can see more about that on our website.
Speaking of the website, how can people join?
So you can register to bid on the website, which is www.milwaukeepbs.org, and then go to the auction slide, and that will show you where you can register to bid. You'll also be able to see information. You can go on Facebook and get information on registering to bid there as well.
And so what does the auction mean to you personally then? I know that you went through the program that is, in correlation with formerly known MPTV and Milwaukee PBS. So.
Yeah. So I was a telecasting student here a long time ago. But I also, this auction has been a part of my family for a very long time. I'm a legacy. My mom started as a copywriter, volunteering as a copywriter a very long time ago. Then I volunteered as a high school student. Then my dad was running the commissary, and eventually he worked his way up, and when he retired from his real job, he applied and became the auction director. And my father was the auction director of the Great TV Auction and made it this huge piece of Milwaukee history for, I believe, about 15 years. And so it's, what does the auction mean to me? That's a really big trick question, because it means my family, it means everything that I love.
And that's great. And I can't wait to see the final product. Thank you so much for coming in this afternoon.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Today's program of the week is our arboriculture program. To put it short, it's a program about outdoors, fresh air, and hard work. MATC has a special certificate where students can train to be top-notch arborists. We explored the program just to see what that exactly entails, but first, let's take a stop at the Mequon campus and check out the horticulture program's annual spring plant sale.
Lori Weiss and Delissa White are instructors in the horticulture program at the Mequon campus. They helped out with the spring plant sale.
I teach a number of different classes. I teach the greenhouse production class, I teach plant materials, I teach the landscape soils.
Our program does, we teach people how to do horticulture, which includes everything from landscaping to greenhouse plants to tree care, taking care of the landscape, designing the landscape, learning about native plants, doing construction, patios and walls and that kind of thing. So I teach primarily plant identification classes and some maintenance classes, the native landscape plants class, but I don't do any design or greenhouse. We have a lot of other specialists on staff that do those classes.
The plant sale is a cooperative effort from the horticulture department class. So we run a greenhouse production class, both a fall greenhouse production class and a spring greenhouse production class. And then our horticulture club both runs the sale and helps organize, and they staff it. So it's really volunteer run on the sale itself. So they'll organize the plants, get them all kind of ready to go, and then they'll take them and then they'll staff selling the plants for a couple days right before spring break.
We actually do several plant sales during the year, and so the one that we had 2 weeks ago was a sale where we were selling Easter lilies and some other potted bulb plants. We actually have a plant sale coming up in about 3 weeks, the first full week of May and into the second week of May, where we'll be selling all the plants that you see here, annuals and flowers and vegetables and hanging baskets and just a whole variety of things. So we all, pretty much everybody here, students and faculty, have some role in that big plant sale because we're open a couple of Saturdays, and so we need a lot of volunteer hours for that.
In terms of the plant sale, I love the students to see we've moved from starting with tiny little plants, seedlings often, or little starting materials. We propagate them. We just go through a lot of work to get them to the exact stage. And I think most people are surprised that something we sold at our last sale, our Easter lily, we actually started that in October and then we finished it in April. And every stage along the way is sort of a checkpoint to make sure we're on time. And then the students are really surprised. It's like, we did really well. We took it all the way from start to finish and we marketed it. And then they said, and they were really good. People were really happy with our plants. So they get to see the success. So I would say my favorite part is to see the students kind of own the process, and then they get the final story of, it sold, it was a success, we did it right. It didn't end up in the garbage. So that can happen, but pretty rare. They do a really great job.
Spring bedding plant sale is the biggest fundraiser for the program, and the students go to a big landscape competition every spring, usually in March. It rotates all around the country, and so we usually take a team of students and they compete in all these different landscape events, and so the money that we raise with these plant sales goes to send these students onto these competitions.
We have a brand new greenhouse, so this is only 3 years old. We had a greenhouse here since 1975, so the Mequon campus has a long history of having greenhouse classes.
The program is just a really great way to learn about horticulture, to find out what area you'd like to go into, but then once you know what area to go into, to really dive in and get more specialty in arboriculture, which is tree care, or the greenhouse classes. There's just a lot of different ways that you can go in horticulture.
We have a branch that trains in tree climbing and pruning and all the arboriculture work that our students practice in our classes. Today's climbing in at Berner Botanic Gardens, which is a wonderful partnership. We work with the Milwaukee County Parks every single year to do tree work for them. In the meantime, they supply us with trees that need work, and the work we do here benefits the public. Everybody in the Milwaukee area benefits from having quality, trees that are cared for in the parks.
Mike Wendt is the instructional chair for the Landscape Horticulture program up at North Campus. It is one of the best in the nation. Students have been able to find employment all over the country. A certificate of the program, Arboriculture, which teaches students skills that will get them jobs maintaining trees throughout the year all over the nation. Hard work and dedication are things that have to be brought to the table no matter what the day may bring. Strict safety procedures need to be followed and protective gear needs to be worn at all times.
You really need to work safe and trust your equipment, use it the way it's intended, and that's what we're training our students to do. We have students who go to work at municipalities, working on city forestry crews. And we have some students that work in individual companies as arborists. Some students become company owners and run their own companies. So they have a wide range of places that they can go.
The program has seen many successful students going to work in the field and has students going to national competitions and placing in higher ranks than the bigger schools that offer the same program.
The National Association of Landscape Professionals puts on a competition every year. We came in third. We won a bunch of cool gear. It's nice to be like nationally ranked for something.
Drew Morris is a current student in the program and has participated in national competitions. Her success can be attributed to the skills she learned right here at MATC.
You're more like familiar with stuff, having like touched it and worked with it firsthand, and I think that's super beneficial and something that MATC offers that you don't get a lot of other places.
Our campus, the whole MAC campus is our outdoor classroom. We try and do as much as we can outside.
Joe Dietz is a landscape design graduate and current educational assistant of the program.
I went out into the field, I got a job, I did landscape design for about 4 years. Position opened up at MATC for educational assistant in the horticulture department, and I applied and I got that job. For the last 8 years, I've been working with Mike in these classes, and I started to really enjoy it. This class here is probably one of my favorite classes to be involved with, just because we're out here in areas like this where we get to climb trees and prune trees, you know, all day on Fridays. It's a great time.
Great story there. Community C arborists work everywhere. From parks to full cityscapes, it's guaranteed you've seen their work. And also be on the lookout for the next plant sale in late April. Now, before we get to our next story, we have the MATC Minute. It may be spring, but winter continues to stick around. Sign up for MATC Rave Alerts to stay posted on any future cancellations at all campuses. May 3rd, tune in to Milwaukee PBS Channel 10 at 7:30 p.m. as they present to us the new premier cooking show, Cook, Plate, Dine. The 4-part series follows student chefs as they master the art and science of cooking. As the semester is coming to an end, it's also open registration for the summer and fall semesters of 2018. That's all for the MATC Minute. Now, before we wrap the show, we present to you today's leader message by Vicki Martin. We're back in the studio now to talk a little bit more about the Milwaukee PBS Great TV Auction. Now, can you tell us the dates of the auction?
Sure. So we'll have on-air bidding from April 27th through the 29th, and then May 4th through May 6th, and then there'll be an on-air or online auction in between those dates, where you can bid on smaller items that are, you know, some of our classics, and then you can bid that way and pick it up with all of the rest of your auction items.
Now, you talked a little bit about signing up. Now, what's the, in about 2 sentences, 2 or 3 sentences, how can someone, you know,
volunteer?
Participate, volunteer, yeah.
Sure. So you should be able to also sign up to volunteer online through that same website, MilwaukeePBS.org, on the auction slide. And there'll be descriptions of the different things that we're looking for during the time that we are on air.
All right, great. Well, thank you so much again for sharing us your story and more information about the Great TV Auction this afternoon.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And that's all we have today for MATC Now. Thank you all for joining us, and I hope you all have a great afternoon.
Technical College, it's really my pleasure to talk to you today about the importance of education and why MATC is so important to our community and hopefully to you in your future. Right now, throughout the state, there are about 100,000 available jobs for people, and employers are telling us they cannot fill those jobs. So it's an important time for students to really think about their education and completing their education. It's so important that students think about the kind of program they want to go into, that they stay in their program, and that if they want to transfer, they can. We have over 400 transfer agreements, and we have guaranteed transfers to UW-Madison, to UW-Milwaukee, to UW-Parkside, to UW-Green Bay, and to Marquette University, as well as all the other four-year colleges and universities in our area and the state, and beyond. And so no matter what your dreams are or your plans are for your future, we really believe that starting here at MATC and finishing, and then if you want to continue your education or get one of the many family-sustaining jobs that are there for you, that this is the place to come. It's a place that's supportive. We want to see you succeed. We are dedicated to your success. We hire the best faculty that we can who in the occupational areas are absolutely ready to teach you and to share their expertise because they come from the occupation that you are studying. And they will support you in terms of context that they have in industry so that you get the kind of job that you really want and that you will be successful at. We really want to do everything we can to find ways to connect with you, to engage with you, and to really realize your full potential as you come here and are a student at MATC. We do so much for our students and we care so deeply about your success. I think that if you stay here and continue and tell others in your family and your friends about the experience that you've had here, I know that you're going to have a much better life ahead of you. Thank you so much.
Thanks again for watching. Tune in next week. I'm your host, Luis De Leon. Have a great afternoon.